America right now. We've finally got some big news and update from the Republican administration that some of the causes of autism could be linked to taking Tylenol during pregnancy, also known as acetaminophen. It was advised that from doctors that they not take this type of medication in other forms like Advil and so on and so forth. Another thing that was talked about was basically how if women get fevers and things like this, that they should refrain from doing it as much as possible. It was also talked about that basically they should only do it as a last resort, and even then to talk with their doctors about it. And it's really hot in my room. I'm going to open up a window for a sec. There. Hopefully that's better. Yes, and they were saying that the certain medical professions is going to be looking into making sure that to consult with the doctors to explain to the patients the least amount for the shortest duration, if absolutely necessary, and so the advice goes to the doctors that then ultimately make the decision to give the advice to the parents. And they also discussed mixing some vaccines with other like mercury and all these other types of vaccines, and how it should be spread out more. Okay, this is something that is a concern for the public, something that's very important, something that was not talked about publicly for years and years, but it is talked about publicly now. Yeah. So hopefully they're going to be able to bring down the numbers a lot, and hopefully they're going to hit the thing right away and get some data. They also mentioned that in Cuba, they do not take Tylenol in Cuba because it's so expensive that they cannot afford it over there. And in some other communist countries that have really low income, that also there's less cases of less cases of autism. Sorry. So the reason why they theorize that there's less cases in other countries is because they're not taking the same things that pregnant mothers would be taking. For if they had a fever or a headache or whatever, they would just tough it out more naturally, and that seems to be what was the lower cases in other countries. So they want to try that here too. But like I said, they still mention to the doctors that they explain to the patient to tough it out more. And on the other side of the news that I'd like to talk about today is actually the return of Jimmy Kimmel. He is coming back tomorrow. Not really sure how I feel about that. It kind of makes me feel like it might be a little bit of a kook or whatever. You know, he was only gone for a couple of days, and it just spread like fire over the internet. Why did it spread like fire over the internet? Supposedly it wasn't getting that much views anyway. It was dived into by some of the other news stations that what was taking place for him was him saying what he said affected people who's sponsoring their channel, okay? And so to say that Charlie Kirk's killer was nothing more than a far-right person, it kind of doesn't really make any sense, because why would somebody who is far-right and advocates keeping guns and is a big fan of Charlie Kirk, why would they shoot him? It kind of doesn't really make any sense, and it alienates half of his audience who could potentially be watching right in America. So for reasons of sponsors, that was talked about why it would be pulled ultimately. And another thing that I like to talk about is some other people have theorized that the reason why he got pulled is because Stephen Colbert also got pulled. Now, to me, that doesn't really make sense that Stephen Colbert got pulled, because his views were going down, and then when Mr. Kimmel stopped for a couple of days, what took place is Stephen Colbert then said, "Oh yeah, I don't see anything wrong with it." Like, he doubled down. But guys, let's not forget to talk about, if these guys really did lose their jobs, they could just go work somewhere else. They could be online like Bill O'Reilly. Sorry, there's a loud car driving by. It's annoying where I live. But these guys could work somewhere else anyways. They already make millions of dollars. So why not try and spin it to get the publicity up? If it is true that they were only getting a couple 100,000, meanwhile, there's lots of other stations out there that's getting pretty much 1 million views plus a night. So when you put in the effect of the cost to produce this, the viewership, and the sponsors putting all the money in, why would you as a sponsor say, well, maybe I should just put my money somewhere else if it's getting less eyeballs? You're saying things that don't resonate with necessarily everyone. So if you're saying, well, you could have an ideology that you stick to, if you're so hard pressed to keep on talking about it, then it kind of makes for sour grapes, amongst some of the viewers, right? I don't know. It's a constant battle. But I think the night shows should stick to night show type topics, actual comedy type stuff. I mean, there could be some political things implemented in it to make it a little bit more spicy. But I mean, sometimes I think they just go too far. Hey, to the 5 viewers, if you like my stuff, like, subscribe, comment. I'm going to be talking to the audience tonight a little bit. Right now, I'm just talking about the whole autism thing in the Trump administration, how they want to limit Tylenol and acetaminophen use for pregnant mothers. And then I was also just talking a little bit about the whole Jimmy Kimmel thing. Supposedly, he's going to be back tomorrow, which is kind of a surprise to everyone, but at the same time, a surprise to no one, because I don't know why he's back tomorrow so quickly. Like, you think it would be at least a 2-week vacation, right? Phi Nguyen said hi. What's up, man? Coming to you from YouTube Live. Just talking and about giving my opinion about some of the stuff that's been going on. I wanted to talk about it because I'm tired of keeping my mouth shut all the time, to be honest with you. Seeing all the stuff that was going on, especially with the Charlie Kirk Memorial yesterday, and Trump was saying how he would not be so quick to forgive his opponents. And then some people use that as rocket fuel to say something like, oh, well, look, he's getting rid of Colbert and he's also getting rid of Kimmel. This is taking away the free speech. And, even Pam Bondi said she's going to be going after certain people, I guess, or whatever, who say things too much. But, I understand if you say something that's way crazy, then, yeah, people are going to start looking at you in a negative way because you're saying just really outrageous things. I think we all just need to boil down a little bit and calm down a little bit here. So I'm trying to be the voice of reason, but I don't know how that's going to go, right? So, hey to the 10 viewers live. Tonight is Tuesday, am I right? So I thought I'd do a little live stream and talk about this whole situation. Do you think that the rates are going to go down? Do you think it's really as bad as people are saying? And are you going to watch Jimmy Kimmel when he goes back? Can you imagine what Jimmy Kimmel is going to say once he does his thing tomorrow? Oh, geez, I wonder if he's going to talk at least a little bit about how the left didn't like him. You know what I mean? I'm kind of wondering, like, is he going to do like a little joke about the left to try and balance it out, or is he just going to say nothing but, or is he going to try and weaponize that, what Donald Trump said at the memorial? Come back to my channel if I'm right about this. That he says, because when Trump was at the memorial, he said, I don't really forgive my opponents too much, as his wife is or whatever. I'm pretty sure he's going to find a way to weaponize that. I'm sure the writers and all the producers and everything are still working, just he's not at the office type thing, and they're maybe recalibrating what they're going to do and how they want to advance the show, because the show has got to change. The show has got to change. Just standing there and smiling with a little beard and a little tuxedo and trying to be all cute and everything is not going to cut it anymore. It is not going to cut it anymore. And Stephen Colbert was great too. I used to watch him years ago, like maybe back in halfway through the Obama administration. I used to watch him. He would give funny little jokes. but pretty much I fell off with him because it's the late night show is the late night show. You got to stay up late to watch these shows. If you're watching them on TV, 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night, if you got to go to work at 5 in the morning and you're watching the show at 11 o'clock at night, like back in 2015 or whatever, I mean, you're cutting into your sleeping and to your work production and everything, staying up, to watch these guys. So why would you bother? If it's just like if it's just like quick little punchlines that sound cool, and if it's just these little puns or whatever, then you have a guest who just happened to write a book, so of course they're looking to make, a couple $100,000 off of the book they're selling, right? I mean, that was kind of like Charlie Sheen. No disrespect to Charlie Sheen, because I really liked him as an actor, but I mean, he was quiet for like 10, 12 years, and he's like, oh, guys, guess what? I wrote a book. Now I'm on Joe Rogan. Now I'm here. Now I'm there. And now he's on like 10 different shows. So I think it's a little bit disingenuous, but they want to get the funds pulled out, extra funding. And here comes a loud car. Oh, it's actually a four-wheeler. But Kamala Harris recently had taken out a book as well. I think it's called like 106 Days or something. And it's supposed to sound all cool, like, oh, can you imagine I only had 106 days to try and become the president or whatever, and it was such a quick thing or whatever. And it was like, you had since, years and years. I mean, I don't see why. Anyway, it's got to have a good catchphrase, right? But are you going to be reading any of these books? Let me know. I mean, maybe Jimmy Kimmel's going to write a book about his terrible experience or whatever. I don't know. But I'm not really buying any of this. I'm not really buying any of that at all, to be honest with you. So I just thought I'd talk about it, voice my concerns a little bit about this sort of stuff. I really hope they do catch on to this autism thing, though, because, I mean, I know a lot of people that have a lot of trouble doing basic stuff as young adults. And I even know some older adults, too, who just really have extreme difficulty trying new things, trying different things, and even trying to be positive, Like, I don't know, some people are just so bad that it's really weakening the countries on the world stage or whatever. So it's just something I thought I'd talk about. But maybe I'd like to talk about some softer stuff now and switch over to some of the more relaxing type things. Like this message is held for review. Review message. Let's see. Bro, you look hardcore at this thing. Okay. Okay, thanks a lot, Yeti Emperor. I can assure you I'm not. At least I don't think I am. I mean, I was never diagnosed with it. So another thing I'd actually like to talk about today is the difficulty I had with my car, man. Holy frig. It kept on overheating, and I had to go pay a bill at a bank, and it was like 20 kilometers away. And every 5 kilometers, my car would go ding, 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 ding. And it was like the temperature sensor is up and it's hot. And I'd have to pull over. And man, it was just a nightmare scenario. I only had a little bit of oil. And I did have a lot of antifreeze, though. But I would drive and it would overheat again. So I popped the hood of my car and I popped up the antifreeze. There was no antifreeze at all. And you're not supposed to open an antifreeze cap when it's hot or whatever, it also could spill out. But since there was no antifreeze, nothing spilled out, right? So I put in a little bit of antifreeze and I start driving again. And it goes ding, ding, ding. So you got no coolant and needed oil. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did need oil, that's for sure. Anyways, I had a little bit of oil too, yeah. So it was a double whammy, I know. And I did put a little bit of oil. I did put a little bit again. And then when I drove, it went ding, ding, ding again. And I pulled over and I popped the hood and like radiator fluid was spewing out of the cap of the frickin' radiator, and my cap was destroyed. Yeah, lucky I didn't blow it. Yeah, really, I mean, I could have. I mean, it's a tough car. It's a Chev Sonic 2012. It's like I got like a 1.8 liter motor, and it was driving just like a charm. It was just not making any sound at all, but it would just go ding, 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 like overheating and getting hot in the front. And I was kind of starting to get dizzy because it was smelling a little bit of my car, so. and I didn't have ChatGPT to help me out because I didn't have my phone on me or internet or anything. But I had to finish my story though. It was spewing out. It was like oil and freaking radiator fluid mixed. And oh man, it looked like a potion. It was like blub 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 blub. And I was like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? And I remembered years ago an old trick that an old trucker told me once. He said, if your radiator fluid is coming out of the cap, you can put a cloth and then tightly put a cap on, but it's got to be kind of like a thin cloth. So I managed to piece back together the cap, and I managed to put this little cloth over it, and I put some antifreeze in beforehand, and I said, if this doesn't work, man, I am screwed. And it actually worked. It worked. And I drove the whole way with no problems ever again. So if anyone's ever watching this live stream and they experience something like I did, remember what I said and just put a little cloth over it and then put the cap on, but it's got to fit perfect. If you're getting dizzy in the cab of your car, you might want to check there isn't a muffler leak. Yeah, probably that too. I mean, my car is done. I got it for like $2,000 7 years ago. Here comes someone with a different type scooter driving by. I know, and I live in a town of like 20,000 people, and everyone drives around with four-wheelers and scooters, and they all cut the mufflers. Speaking about mufflers, I mean, I might get muffler smelly poisoning just sitting here talking to you guys now. But it's annoying, young kids. I mean, I was younger too in the past, and I used to drive around with loud dirt bikes and all that stuff. But as you get older, you want things to be quiet. That's why this lithium thing is taking off, is because people want just to drive and it's like it just makes no sound. That's what people want. And I got an electric scooter for that now. It goes 50 kilometers an hour. You were saying KMs, so you're obviously Canadian. Yeah, you got me. I live in Carney world, with the big boss there who just signed up, was that $50 billion for like 3,000 homes or something like that. I don't know where we're getting all this money from. Hopefully not China, but anyway. I don't know. It's going to be some expensive houses there. East Coast or West? East Coast, New Brunswick side, close to Quebec or whatever, Eastern Quebec, Eastern New Brunswick type deal. I kind of hate it in a way. I don't really like where I'm living, but and I'll tell you why. It's the French people. The French people are too much. With like their seniority and authority there, it's like I have people yelling in my face. French people. He's like, you will never be one of us, even though I try and speak French or whatever. It's tough, But even the French people are saying, the young French teenagers are like, well, let's just be bilingual because it's too hard to be French with these older French people. You're in Campbellton, NB. Wow, that's fucked up, man. I'm near Campbellton, NB too. Huh? I wonder who the fuck Yeti Emperor is. But anyway, the algorithm must have picked up that we live in the same location or whatever because I'm close to there too. Sniff Dose Rants. All right, what's up, Sniff Dose? Are you a bot or something like that? I don't know. I might have to find a way to try and delete you. I don't think you're allowed to say the same thing over and over multiple times, right? Sorry, Sniff Dose Rants. If you don't stop what you're saying, I'm gonna have to kick you out. I mean, I don't know. I'm not really used to this whole live streaming thing. I don't know if you're just allowed to say like 50 things over and over. But there is a thing on YouTube where people say WWA, like WW, you win, WW. So there is a lot of people that spam W's on live stream, but I don't know if that's normal. Yes, I am bald. Sniff Dose Rants. Can you see my baldness? I'm like Mr. Clean. I'm like the new Mr. Clean. He ha. Okay, well you seem pretty nice. Sniff Dose Rants though kind of sounds like you're a cocaine addict. I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, I don't know why. Sniff, like you sniff a lot, like I don't know. I mean, I don't even want to say, but LMAO, and now he's trying to roast you. Yeah, I think it's a lady. Oh no, Sniff Dose Rants is a man. Okay, you're just doing like a lady you're trying to. Sniff Dose Rants is a mewer. She's going. He's like 67. I don't even know who Olivia Rodrigo is. I'm gonna look that up later. Is she a famous like Mexican singer? Anyway, I kind of forget what I was talking about earlier, but I guess it doesn't really matter. Oh, yeah. So besides the car troubles, man, that was my whole day. I mean, I had a sore back yesterday at the gym in Campbellton. I was doing bent over fucking. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't swear. I was doing bent over barbell rows, flexing my back or whatever. Man, it was crazy. It's bent over rows is for champions only, and there's a reason why. There's a reason why. And after that, I was doing deadlifts or whatever. And even though it was lightweight, it was only like 150 pounds or whatever. I did like 15 sets. Plus, I was fasted. I never ate any food that day yesterday. And I woke up. I actually went to go get a coffee and I sipped it. I put it in my book bag. And when I put it in the side of my book bag, it fell on the ground and smashed. And I got so mad. I said, I can't handle life right now. I'm just going to go to the gym and do deadlifts. I went to the gym and started doing deadlifts. I said, fuck this. I got to do some deadlifts. So I did like 15 sets fast. And I didn't even care. And then after that, I got another coffee. No choice. Sniff Dose says I may be not straight. Okay. I am definitely straight. How much? The bent over rows was like, I forget, 7, 8, 9, 10. It was like 125. Bent over rows, 125. I weigh 180. So you love my videos, Sheila Thompson. Thank you so much, Sheila. My little shorts. Have you seen my shorts where I transform into a robot and all that kind of stuff? How much do I deadlift? I don't know what my max is. My max deadlift is probably only like 225. I suck at deadlifts or whatever. And there's a problem at the gym where I go to that when you do deadlifts, the floor is uneven. One part of the floor is like an inch higher than the other floor, and my 2 feet are in between the crack. So I'm deadlifting like with my scalar plexus to the side or whatever there. So I can only imagine the people that's deadlifting 315 and this and that, because it's not normal there. The gym should fix that for sure. How long have I been in the gym? I've been going to the gym now since like 2019, just before Cove. Just before the old Cove hit there. I've been working out since I was like 25. Now I'm 32. So just at 7 years, yeah. Natural, completely natural, no creatine, no steroids, no peptides or whatever. But I just love working out so much, love it with a passion. And I'm pretty much at my natural limit though right now for gaining weight. I have trouble gaining more than 190 pounds, to be honest with you. So I was kind of hoping for 200, but Sniff Dose Ranch, how much each side? 45 pound plates each side. It was just one plate. Sheila Thompson, 67, is out of nowhere. Okay, you love my rants, but 67. So Sheila Thompson, how'd you get to find me, or how'd you get to find this channel? You say you love my videos. Thanks a lot. I'm just gonna scroll up, see if anybody else did a comment. You love my videos? No, besides that, it's pretty quiet. Okay. Yeah, love going to the gym, working out, all that kind of stuff there. I mean, I'm not the biggest guy or whatever, but so me. Yeah. So yeah, I was just talking about how I had car problems earlier, and I was saying how I was watching the news. And I just wanted to give my opinion on some stuff. If you guys haven't already liked or whatever my channel, please do. Whatever helps the algorithm type thing. I'm gonna start posting more live streams, just giving my opinion about some of the stuff that's going on in the news every day, because I feel as though I gotta say something. I mean, I can't just watch everything that's going on in the world today and just doing nothing. You know what I mean? Like then doing nothing about it. I mean, I gotta at least have a comment. Thanks for that extra like, you guys. So I feel as though that I just don't want to watch TV anymore and not have anything to say. You know what I mean? I don't know if you ever felt that way. And yeah, I mean, with the whole AI and robot thing coming up, I mean, I don't really have to worry about working my ass off or trying to be as good as the next Joe Blow right next to me, because, if he's mean to me or if I'm mean to him or what, like, it doesn't really matter, because in 5 years from now, our employers are going to replace us with robots. So why would I bother stressing out about the economy? Why would I bother stressing out about like wars? Why would I stress out about the health of others and all this kind of stuff when all of this fruition of intelligence is going to be bestowed upon us anyway. So I don't really see a problem with freaking out as much as I used to before. I used to get upset about the news and all that stuff a lot back in 2019, 2020, 2021, and just all that stuff. But I knew then that this was getting to be more and more. So, and I feel as though the time is right to finally branch out more, branch out more, learn more, do more, be more, achieve more. Okay, so now I don't have anybody watching me. This is kind of boring. Sheila Thompson, laugh, 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 laugh. I wonder if Sheila Thompson is from Campbellton, New Brunswick. There's a lot of Thompsons in Campbellton, New Brunswick, eh? I have a question for you guys. Will you be watching Jimmy Kimmel tomorrow? He's going on tomorrow. Tomorrow, Jimmy Kimmel is going to be talking about all the bad things that were said about him over the last 3 days. No, bummy, I was in Canada. Okay, well, welcome to Canada. Hope you like it for now, But anyway, to continue on my story, Jimmy Kimmel there. I'm just going to watch the little clippets of what he says. See something. I'm sure he's going to mention how he hates Trump. I'm sure he's going to mention how, sponsors threaten to pull because they're scared because the Republicans told them that what he said was not appropriate or something like that. So in order to save money, they had to cancel him for 2-3 days to penalize him. But then when they realized it wasn't enough, then he's allowed back. So they almost got him. And he's going to play it like they almost got me. They almost got me. And he's going to play it like I was this lucky to get away with it. But next time I might be not so lucky. You guys better watch what I'm doing because, it could get worse. We better watch this Republican administration to make sure that that what takes place is that it doesn't get worse for me, right, guys? And then his ratings are going to go up to like 500,000 tomorrow whenever he goes live there. I have no doubt in my mind at all. Live life a little bit. Let 300 pound give you the clap. All right. Who are you referring to Trump or are you referring to Jimmy Kimmel? Weekend wingman. All right. Well, I mean, I'm not the kind of guy to receive clappings. I'm the kind of guy to give out those clappings. I'm the clapper. Jeez. What about you? Are you a fan of Kimmel there, Weekend Wingman? If you are, like this video, share it, and subscribe, and blah, 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 blah. What does 301 mean? Sheila Thompson, what the hell are you talking about? How's everybody doing tonight? Are you bored? Are you bored out of your mind like me and everybody else? Is there anything good on the news here? Probably not. Did you guys watch the memorial yesterday? It was a lot of coverage there, and there was a lot of people though in the stands. I mean, there was hundreds of thousands of people in that stadium. It was crazy, man. But the unity is definitely strengthened big time on the right. I mean, I don't know what is going on with this whole trans shooters things. I never thought in a million years that trans people would shoot you. I mean, I didn't think that. I thought trans people were nice and positive, and not saying that the shooter was. Supposedly it was his roommate that was like that, but I just never knew that people were that sensitive to that kind of stuff. There was sexuality and identity and all that. 301 is 1 pound bonus. Oh, yeah. Okay. 302. All right. Still don't know what you're talking about, but wait. Yeah, so it was pretty quiet on the interwebs tonight there, so I thought I'd just go live, talk a little bit, get to know the crowd. If you guys like my stuff, come back, talk more, engage with the audience, get their opinions on various stuff. Sometimes I make TikTok videos and I say stuff like, oh, is Canada okay? Or is Canada not okay? And, so I make little TikToks like that. And a lot of people are saying, no, Canada's not okay. But a lot of people are also saying, yes, Canada is okay. So it's really back and forth, man. It's really back and forth. I was talking to this one guy. He's like, oh, Canada's communist. And I'm like, well, why is it? He's like, well, I'm looking at the bigger picture. I'm like, well, I don't know. I see it from the smaller picture standpoint of in 2019, a lot of nurses got canceled and replaced by private companies. So that is kind of like a communist thing to pay a nurse $30 an hour, fire the nurse, and then hire a $135 an hour nurse, and the taxpayer pays for the nurse that's gone and left the province or the country or whatever, and now has to pay for a new private company nurse who brought in this. That's crazy, man. They should have never done that, man. If I was prime minister, I would have looked into that stuff right away, because spending $35 an hour versus spending $135 an hour for private companies is off the chain, man. I don't know how budget's gonna survive that, because that is way too much money. I mean, we're talking about like 5 times more expensive, but it's just people acted like they didn't care, and houses were cheap. Yeah. Oh, yeah, just a sec there. I got a telephone call. Hello? Pretty good. I'm on the phone with somebody else right now, actually. All right. Okay, bye. Yeah, that was just my mom calling me to wish me a happy birthday. Yeah. She's a real treat, my mom there, yeah. My dad passed away, and he wanted to give me $5,000 in the will, and she never gave it to me. That was like 6 years ago. No joke. I'm being serious. For those 3 viewers that's watching me, I told her to call me back later. Yeah, my mom and I, we really don't get along well. I'm even rubbing my bald head just thinking about it. She owns private water on this like huge river that has fish that's been going up and down this river for thousands of years. Everyone's making $500 a day fishing, but not her. I'm like, well, let's try it, Mom. She's like, no, actually, I'm going to cancel you like the woke left and pretend that you're a bad guy. I'm like, oh my God. Like, a lot of senior citizens are terrified of change, and that's what's really fueling the left and a lot of these ideologies today, of people even watching the news late at night. Like, young people don't watch the news late at night, right? A lot of the older generation watches the news at night. They're not in with the internet, right? So anyway, but I'm 32 years old, and I don't really worry too much about my predicament there. But the housing crisis in Canada is real. There is a serious housing crisis in Canada, and there's a serious wage discrepancy problem in Canada. I can see why a lot of younger people want billionaires to liquidate some of their money and give it to the younger generation. And I can see why, obviously, the billionaires are against that, and maybe they want to leave. But for the billionaires in Canada, there's only a few anyway. I mean, Canada is really not as strong as it used to be, unfortunately, economically. I mean, anytime you try and do something, you get canceled. I had a business one time. I had like $6,000 invested into a fishing business, and a bunch of old ladies wrote me nasty letters and actually demolished my building, because it's a long story, but man, it is really tough in the Canadian environment to get ahead in life, like on nature and in the ground with, say, for example, lakes, rivers, mountains, any kind of paperwork to get this type of land to, I don't know what you would call it, to probate the land and try and do business or whatever. It is so difficult. The paperwork you have to go through, and the experts you have to talk to, and the lawyers and the government workers. I remember one time I wanted to buy a little piece of land, and so I went to this like natural resources place in Canada, just a building, and I was like, yeah, I'd like to lease some crown land or whatever, maybe for hunting or a dwelling or whatever. And the secretary said to me, sir, I've been working here for 35 years, and you're the first person who ever walked in the door and asked to lease some crown land. No joke. And I said, holy crap. And after that, she said, you have to call a special number. There's one government worker who deals with this kind of stuff. Only one in the whole of Eastern Canada. So anyway, I call, And they're like, oh, just the paperwork to file it out, just the paperwork is $1,500 plus tax, and then plus $300 one or two more times. And then there's a 3-month waiting period where we can still say no. We can still tell you no. And then there's all these other contingencies even before you step foot in the place. I mean, I understand for going slow and safe and all that. I just don't see how foreign workers can sign on the dotted line and get a motel paid for by a company, move in, sleep, eat for free, basically. And I know that's rude to say. There might be a few immigrants that say, "Well, I never did that," but a lot of them are. A lot of them are, and they're taking the lower jobs. But the original inhabitants of Canada are really gonna have a tough time finding money. So that's why I'm really for robots taking over. You know, to my one viewer watching them, mark my words, I'm really looking forward to robots taking over because we are not figuring out Canada and the United States right now of what's going on. We are not playing with a full deck of cards. Let's go, Jake Game Dev. That's right. That's right. Why would you get a job pushing carts, grocery carts at an IGA or whatever, getting treated like crap by your employer, getting minimum wage, and then 6 months from now, they got a robot bringing it back and forth anyways. And then they tell you, well, you should be lucky. You should consider yourself thankful to go to bed at 9 o'clock at night and to get up at 6 in the morning and to shower and shave and put on your clothes and drive to work and put your lunch box and, you got $20 for your lunch box and you work 9 hours a day, 8 to 5. Your breaks aren't paid. Your lunches aren't paid. You only make $1,200 a month when you can just go on welfare and make like $900 a month. And you don't have to commute to work. You don't have to pack a lunch. So basically the commuting to work and packing the lunch brings your $1,200 a month down to $900 anyways. So you might as well just not work and have robots take your jobs anyways. And you might as well just do something creative anyways. And if you think that Canada is not going to do that and that the other countries in the world is going to do that, then you are going to get left behind, my guy. As it's been said. Love from Saskatchewan, man. Subbing for more, but I gotta go. All right, man. I hear you, Jake Gamer. Thanks a lot for the sub, man. It means a lot. Everyone is hanging by a thread. Fully agree. Yeah, and I don't like to hang on a thread, man. I refuse to hang on a thread. Do not let anybody make you feel as though you're hanging on by a thread, man. You gotta find a way to rise up. They are disincentivizing working, and I don't know why. It's called a pressure test and a pressure tactic. That's going to make just pressure for you to be creative. So you have to find a way to be creative. Hello, someone with special writing. Can you tell me what language that is? Is your name to the person who just said hi? The 3 viewers, like and subscribe if you haven't already. Subscribe like Jake Game Dev. We're sitting here talking about autism. We're talking about Jimmy Kimmel. We're talking about how my car broke down earlier. You just missed it. I was just talking about my mother. So, you might have to go back and see what I said. I'm just kidding. It wasn't that bad, but, we're all going through tough times right now. We're all going through tough times right now, brother. And each and every single one of us has got to find a way to rise up and overcome. No choice. 1 viewer, 5 likes. Hello to the 1 viewer watched. And right now I've been live for 39 minutes. I was talking about working out earlier, trying to get huge. Look at that. Doesn't that look pretty crazy? Oh, yeah. Oh, geez. Should I wrap it up or should I keep going, eh? Send it out to your friends. Maybe if 15, 20 people watch me, I'll keep live streaming. How about that? Oh. But besides that, just got to live one day at a time, man. I'm going to go close my window for a second. Yo. What's up, gang? What's up, gang? Yo, 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 yo. Do you speak English? Do you speak English? What's up? Drinking a lot of water tonight. I never drank any water all day. Long overdue. Long overdue. But I think we're going to cut it there, guys. I think that's enough for one night. I mean, I don't see anybody else pouring in. What do you mean, no? Okay, did you, oh, no, you don't speak English, or no, you don't want me to leave? Ugh. But no, it's just thought I'd give my opinion on some of the stuff that's going on right now. Right now it's like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, something like that. You know, so I think it's dying down. I think the algorithm pushed me enough, you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't see them helping me out too much more than this. You know, if you like my stuff, like I said, like, subscribe, helps the algorithm. No, yes, no, yes. Are you going to subscribe? Are you going to like it? You already commented, so that's a big help. Well. But, I mean, I said all I said. I got a sore back today because I was doing deadlifts yesterday. Like, picking up heavy weights. And not only was I picking up heavy weights, but I was doing it for a lot of reps. You know, I did like 10 sets with like 135 or something like that. Bent over rows, that's when you pick up the barbell, you stand up with it, and then you bend down and you bring the bar up to your neck like that. And it's working the muscles right on your back, and it's crazy. It's bent over rows are for hardcore champions only. They are not an easy exercise. One of the toughest exercises there is bent over rows, along with deadlifts, benching, squatting, compound movements. They're all tough. They're all tough. Let me tell you, they're all tough. It's not easy, but I also love to be challenged. I never back down from a challenge. Never back down, never give in, never give up. Know what I'm talking about. So yeah, what did you guys do today? What are you guys up to? Anything new and exciting in your guys' life? No, I guess not. I guess not. Well. Pretty quiet, eh? Trump is saving American jobs, says Valuetainment. Spider-Man Magic the Gathering cards have just released. Will you be buying Spider-Man Magic the Gathering little cards? Because I don't think I will be. If I do buy Magic cards, I like to buy them individually, save a little bit of money. But the whole Spider-Man Magic the Gathering set is pretty controversial in having way too many Spider-Men. So, alright guys, that's enough for tonight. I'm going to head her. Thanks a lot for watching my video, and I'll see you guys on the next one.